really good pass blocking last week. You also caught a couple of passes. Did they tell you before the game, like, we're going to make more of an emphasis toward throwing you the ball before Tennessee?
I had a couple plays in that were designed for, me being the first read. But, I mean, it was never really designed to, just go to me every single time. It just so happened, they let me open and I just made a play.
Nate, over here. Sorry. No, you're good. I guess, obviously, I know you've played some fullback this year and been in the backfield a little bit, but I guess this week, what was it kind of like, adding something in the pass protection game, at least from the backfield? And I guess what was it, how do you feel like it kind of worked for you guys as well?
Yeah, it's a very similar offense to where I was in, at ETSU. So, the transition with that, with all the protections, because I was in protection a lot at ETSU. So, coming in here and when they asked me to do that out of the backfield with, Marshawn and CBS down, I was ready to do it. And they coached it well, throughout the week. And I picked up on it pretty quick. So, it was a good transition for me.
Nate, obviously, back-to-back top 10 teams that you guys are facing. How do you bottle up what you had Saturday night and keep it moving forward towards this rivalry game?
Yeah, you just got to come in and work every day at practice. We had a good practice out there today. It was a good start to the week, and we just got to keep stringing together good practices, and just focus on us and just doing our job.
Nate, you more of an inside zone power back, or do you lob?
I'll do whatever they tell me to do. I'll run outside zone, inside zone. I don't care.
And I guess offensively, obviously, by far the best performance of the year for you guys. What do you guys have to do to take that and maybe bottle it up and bring it with you to Clemson? What does that look like this week?
Yeah, like I said, we just got to show up, do what Coach Sad is coaching us to do, whatever he calls, we just go out there, do our job, and execute to the best of our abilities. And, you see what we're capable of. So, as long as we just do our job, control what we can control, we'll be all right.
Nate, as a coach's kid growing up all over, when did you first hear about the USC-Clemson rivalry? And, if you were an out-of-state kid at that time, did you realize the importance of it, or did you have to wait till you got here?
It was more last year when my dad got here. I kind of, I always knew it was a rivalry because, it was in-state. But, when my dad got here last year, I definitely, became more familiar with it as that week came on. So, yeah.
What stands out to you about Clemson's defense?
Their front seven is really, really good. Every single defensive lineman, could be playing in the NFL as well as their linebackers. They fly around. They're very athletic. They're very big. They play hard and they play, with a lot of emotion, a lot of physicality. So we're just going to have to match that, bring the intensity and just do our job.
Nate, is the Spencer Rattler we saw against Tennessee, is that what you guys have seen almost every day in practice, and we're just kind of surprised that you weren't seeing that in games, or what?
No. I mean, we always know that he has the capability and the talent to have games like that, and it was just so happens that day, there was just something that was going for us, and it just, it just kept going. We were all just, clicking and all just doing our jobs and executing, as good as possible.
You've been in the tight end room with Jaheim all year, but what have you seen from him as a running back, especially kind of maybe lead blocking for him a little more this last week on his carries?
Yeah, he runs really hard. He's 6'3", 230, and runs like a running back, runs like a tight end. He's a big dude, and, he's very physical, and he's very passionate whenever he has the ball in his hand. And, it's just always somebody, you want to block as good as possible for.
Nate, what's that feeling like when an offense is clicking the way it was clicking on Saturday night?
I don't know. I mean, that was a really cool feeling. It felt like we couldn't be stopped. It was pretty cool. Just running to the end zone every single time to celebrate for a touchdown. And I'm on punt team, so we only had to punt like once. So that was pretty cool. Not only having to cover like one kick, so that was pretty cool. We were scoring touchdowns, and it's really fun just having Willie B blowing up like that and fireworks going off all the time. It was a really cool feeling.
And you guys were in a similar position in terms of you guys were ranked a couple weeks ago, coming off a 4-game win streak. You had a spotlight on you. This week you have a spotlight after that win. What did you learn about yourself and this team going through that, and how do you caution against maybe some of the embracing the spotlight like maybe you did a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, you can't really focus on that. You just got to go out and just do your job, go out there and execute. Just put the ball down like Coach Beamer says, put the ball down and just go play, no matter what the circumstances are, if we won last week how we did, or, we lost last week, it's still, next game and, next opportunity to go out there and play.
Hey, man, sorry for a similar question, but, obviously Gamecock fans are ecstatic right now, but also wondering where in the heck that offensive performance came from, right? Saturday. Where did that come from, and what was the difference between Saturday and maybe some of the other weeks where you guys struggled?
Yeah, I think we were good on first down. We didn't have too many penalties. I mean, we still had penalties, but, I think we were just staying ahead. Ahead of the sticks. And, we were just executing, and our playmakers were making plays, we had a lot of 50-50 balls, and our receivers came down with a lot of them. And, Spencer was pretty unstoppable. He was making all the throws, making all the reads. And, that's just what this offense is capable of when everybody's clicking and firing on all cylinders.
Nate, kind of to that, what is it? I guess what does that do for you guys? Maybe confidence-wise. Maybe this is a little general, but what does that do for you guys confidence-wise when you do have a game like that where you see everything click, everything's working? Does that do anything for you guys going into the rest of the season? Obviously, this week, a bowl game, and whatever kind of comes after that. Yeah,
you definitely get a little, type of swagger from that game. You get a little confidence boost. But at the end of the day, it's next game, next man up. And, Clemson has a really good defense, and so we're going to have to bring our A game, and everybody's going to have to do their jobs, to the best of their ability.
You guys went for it on fourth down pretty early in that Tennessee game. When Beamer and Satterfield opt to do something like that, what does that say in terms of confidence in the offense to be out there and do that? And how did that maybe parlay into some of the offensive confidence you guys gained throughout the game?
Yeah, it was a point of emphasis, going into that game that, on our fourth and mediums, 4th and 5 and less, that, we were going to go for it most of the time. And, whenever we got in that circumstance, literally, I think, it was the first drive, and we actually did go for it. And we made it, it was 4th and 1, and then we jumped and we got moved back, 4th and 6, and we still converted. We still went for it. I think it was just it was like a tone setter for the rest of the game.
Nate, I just wanted to ask, how's your dad doing?
He's good.
Everything
Appreciate
fine?
it. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Tonka, in-state guy, when do you remember first hearing about this rivalry?
Probably when I was young. I had some cousins who played for Carolina, so when I first found out about it, growing up watching it, I seen that there was a lot of hype behind it, and I liked it.
How young and who were the cousins?
One was called George Goss and Karibi. George Goss and Andre Goss.
Tonka, what have these couple of days been like for you and around the team? And it must be really super exciting. Everybody's excited about what you accomplished.
Well, just like Coach talked about this morning, it's behind us now. We on to Clemson week. The couple of days after, we did our little thing, but now we know we have to go past that and worry about the next team.
Yes, Uncle. Going off of that a little bit, you just alluded to it, but I guess what are some ways, some practical ways in which you guys kind of, tune out last week? Like, okay, last week was that win, and I guess now we're on to the next week. Like, what are some things that you kind of do to do that?
Well, we go out, we gonna compete. We stop talking about it. We go to class. People gonna pat you on your back, be like, "Good game," yeah, and we gonna tell them like it's on to the next one, and we really can't worry about it now because we playing Clemson this week.
Tonka, obviously that Tennessee offense moves really, really quick. I guess what were you guys able to do to kind of at least get them off rhythm a little bit, or what did you kind of feel like you guys were able to do to sort of shake them a little bit?
We trusted our game plan. Our Coach White, everybody on the defensive staff had a great game plan for us, and we went out there and executed it.
Kind of looking ahead of this week, what have you seen from Clemson's offense on film, and what kind of you think the biggest challenges they present will be?
Well, they got athletes, especially at wide receiver, running back, and everywhere almost. So, it's going to be a good game. We're going to have to compete at every aspect of the game.
Shane was very open about saying that they trusted you guys to put you on an island. for Tennessee and just trust you to do it. What exactly was that conversation like? Did Shane address you guys? Was it all Torian or Clayton saying what you guys were going to have to do against Tennessee?
It was all three of them, actually. They come up to us because they have confidence in us and we have confidence in our own play to go out and execute our jobs. And that was one of our jobs, is to be out on the island. We wanted to stop their run game because they're very good in the run. We know they're explosive in the pass game. So for them to put that job on us, it was just a really mentality of, like, let's just go do it. Like, we're corners for a reason, and that's what we do. We got to shut down the pass game, and that's one thing we took from those guys. So for them to give us that job, and we just put it on our backs and just execute it.
Darius, to that end, I mean, I know you guys are a confident group, but like, what does it do for you guys as a unit and a defense to have the game that you guys did against a team like Tennessee and what that offense can do? I mean, I'm sure there's things that you guys want to take from it and improve, but when you guys are able to slow them down in a team like that, what does that do for you guys as a group?
So with Tennessee, we already understood them. They were a tempo team. You got to be able to handle tempo for one, and you just can't have many mistakes. So I'll say for instance, that first drive when we misfit a gap, you see where it leads to, and it leads to a score. So teams like that, you gotta execute. You can't have too many mistakes with those guys. You got to make sure you're aligned, assigned, and detailed in everything you do. So with those guys, I mean, a great team, no doubt about it. I mean, they were in contention for the playoffs. So they're a great team, and we just went out there and executed our jobs the best way we could.
Darius, when Nick goes out with that targeting call pretty early in the game, just what was that moment like for you guys who were on the field, and how did you kind of reset after that to go on to have the game that you did?
Next man up mentality. So Peyton Williams coming in, true freshman. I mean, prep him this whole week. I mean, he's been getting reps, so it's always a next man up mentality because you never know who's going down in what kind of situation. So for Peyton to come in and do the job that he did, it just showed that he was prepared. And with the week that we had last week, it was just great preparation for him. So for him to come in and do that, it was just tremendous for what he did, stepping up.
Darius, you mentioned being on an island, and Clemson likes to run the ball too, and you might be in a similar situation this week. What have you seen from that group of receivers, and how eager are you to go out there and compete against some of those guys?
They're a great group of receivers, honestly. Just seeing those guys on film, great in the pass game, they can run it as well. It's just going to come down to defense being detailed and aligned and assigned and executing our job.
What's up, man? A couple questions on the rivalry. What are your feelings on the Carolina-Clemson rivalry? What's it like to play in a game like this? And what are your feelings on Clemson?
I'll say, I mean, games like this, I see it as like high school, a state championship game. You got one team from the upstate. In this case, we're the Midlands, so it's like a state championship game. Who's gonna win the state? And how I feel about Clemson, they're a great team. I mean, they're a top 10 team. They got 10 wins. It's a reason they're a good team. So having an opportunity to play those guys, I mean, it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, just I guess when you got here as a player, I know you've been a part of a few of these games. Just like, was there anything, I guess, experiencing it as a player that kind of surprised you about like the lead up to the game, and just, I don't know, like what's that atmosphere of playing in that type of game like?
Playing that type of game is special. I mean, like you said, it's a rivalry game. It's one of those games that everybody looks at on their schedule. I mean, we're to that point right now, but looking back 3 weeks ago, I was worried about what we got each week, and that's what I look at for this week as well, is what can we do this week to make ourselves better as a team and to go out there and execute our jobs. Like I stated before, I mean, it's a nameless, faceless opponent. You just got to understand what you can do as a person and as a team for us to go out there and execute our jobs on Saturdays.
Darius, the last few weeks, Clemson's kind of ramped up DJ Uiagalelei running the ball a lot. How much of a difference can that make for you guys to have to pay attention to that?
As I'll go back and say, it's all about being detailed, understanding our assignments, and executing our jobs. So DJ, he's a great passer and a runner. So he's a great player. So, I mean, we're not going to just focus on just one thing. We got to focus on us as a team, honestly. So we got to focus on what we can do and how we can execute our jobs.
Hey, Darius, what do you remember about the feeling in the locker room after the Clemson game last year, and how tough of a team are they when they're running the ball well?
The feeling last year, I mean, we lost. You don't just go in the locker room happy about a loss. It was devastating. It was a devastating loss, honestly. So, I mean, we was upset about it, of course. That's really it. And their run game, they gotta keep stating. I mean, they're a great team. They're gonna run the ball. They're gonna throw the ball, just like any other team in this league.
Darius, this is kind of a weird thing in the history of this rivalry. You guys haven't played there in 4 years. I don't know, like, how many guys you even have that did anything significantly in the 2018 game. Is that a disadvantage that playing on the field, not standing on the sideline, playing on the field is a whole new experience there for you guys?
I mean, we went to Arkansas this year. I haven't been to Arkansas in a while. I mean, that game came out how it did. It was a loss, but it's not going to create a disadvantage. We had our mistakes in that game. When we went to Kentucky. We haven't won in Kentucky in a long time. We went there as we execute our jobs. So it's not about when we play, where we play. It's all about how we do as a team. So for us to go there, I mean, it's going to be a great experience. I mean, a great stadium. They got a new Jumbotron. It's going to be electric for those guys. It's not about, it's going to be a disadvantage. It's all about how does South Carolina play. Is South Carolina going to go out there and execute their job, do what they got to do?
Going back to the preparation for last Saturday's game, and with the confidence that the coaches showed in the defense and also the offense going forward on fourth down, going into the game, what did that do just to just bolster the overall confidence and belief that the coaches had in the team and that you could get the job done?
Because it's that kind of game. I mean, you got the number 5 team coming in. They're a great team. It was more of we believe in ourselves. We believe in our offense. We believe in our defense. So it was more of a execution thing. Offense wanted to go for it. Hey, defense, we got their back. So it's a have your back mentality that we had with those guys. If they went for it on fourth down and they didn't get it, it was put the ball down mentality for the defense. We get a stop and get the ball back to our offense. They could go down and score. If not, hey, we got your back. We'll put the ball down again. So it was more of an attack mentality. So for our offense to go out there and go for it on fourth down, because whether they got it or not, we had their back as a defense, no matter what.
We saw on the broadcast you guys were using wristbands on defense, kind of something new to kind of slow down Tennessee's tempo. Were you more comfortable with that, and how do you think that impacted your performance, if at all, just getting the calls in quicker?
Like I keep saying, a tempo team like Tennessee, you just got to be able to line up. It wasn't affecting me or performance, nobody affecting on the team. I mean, as a secondary, we just got to line up and communicate as quick as possible, and that's what we did. So no wristbands or anything will affect that.
Just as important as the game plan for Clemson, what's your game plan for Thanksgiving? You got any special plans, any foods you're looking forward to?
Looking forward to some apple pie with some ice cream. So that's my biggest thing I'm looking forward to. Also some turkey with some rice and gravy, macaroni. I think that's gonna be my first plate. I might go back for seconds too. I'll say I'm most thankful for is the opportunities. 2022 has been a great year for me, honestly. Not only just because of this season, but I can see my growth from last year, honestly. And my family, always grateful for those guys being supportive for me. Just anytime I need them, I can call them. They've helped me through a lot, whether it's just calling to say hello or just to call my mom and say, don't really know how to do something, can you help me out? So I'm really thankful for like family and opportunities. And it's just been a blessing this 2022 year for me.